Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I wanted to come on do a video and check in because it's been so long since I did one and I wanted to reconnect with everyone. So hope everyone is doing well. I'm very grateful that people are still here on this channel. I hope that everyone is feeling like they are doing well and creating whatever it is that they desire to create. We want to come on and we want to talk about anywhere we are in our reality, anywhere we are in our life. We know that we can change it, even if it does feel kind of hopeless. Some days are going to feel worse than others. It's just how it works. It doesn't mean that you're not actually able to create whatever it is that you want. It's just a part of life. It's even a part of the way that we attract things. There's always a duality, kind of a cause and effect. There's an opposite to whatever it is that we are thinking, which is good, because if we're thinking negatively, there's also the positively as well too. So with that being said, when we're thinking about anything that we are creating, it all comes from your desire, and it's this desire that does actually create. So when you have this kind of burning desire, and you know yourself, with books that you read or anything to do with manifestation, it's always going to come back to how you are focused on this desire. You keep your thoughts on what it is that you want to create, and you kind of keep yourself emotionally involved in whatever it is that you are creating. So when I say emotionally involved, it means that we can have this heightened up and down kind of feeling, I suppose, towards it, but we just never give up because we are so emotionally involved in whatever it is that we are creating. And when I talk about creating, and when I talk about changing things in your reality, I kind of like to come from the perspective that we do it kind of bit by bit. So rather than kind of jumping into these big kind of desires that we have, which I know that some people do this, but to come from the kind of a way to correlate with maybe your logical mind, even though I know that manifestation is not logical in terms of how it can show up, but it just kind of helps your brain to absorb what it is that you are doing and to retain your affirmations, and to allow for the right and left hemisphere to meet in a way that is supercharged. So that is kind of why I like to look at it from going by a bit by bit. So a bit by bit can look like looking at where you are, looking at your outside. Sometimes I kind of look at my outside to get an idea of what's going on inside. So for instance, I know I mentioned it before, if I notice that my place has gotten a little untidy, or if I notice that there are some triggers going on in certain groups that I do be talking in, or anything that is going on internally, I know then that I have to kind of analyze this. And when you are sufficient in looking at your world in this way, you become more aware of your triggers. You become more aware of things not matching what you are thinking inside. So that is kind of a good thing when you actually practice this on a daily basis. And practicing it on a daily basis is using affirmations, it's looking after your nervous system, it's looking after your health, even on days when your health is not feeling so good, giving yourself the rest that you need, and giving yourself a bit of time to yourself as well, to reconnect to yourself and know exactly what it is that you want. So when we start by these little habits, we can incorporate them into our daily routine. And for me, I know that rituals are something that I will make time for. So if I have to go early in the morning, I will be up early in the morning to do the rituals before I leave. And that is because I've ingrained it into my routine now, that it is just something that I have to do. It's simple as having a coffee in the morning. I get up an hour or more earlier to do these rituals because they're what set me up for the day. They help me feel more confident. They help me feel like I am connected to whatever it is that I am creating. And the more that you kind of do this, you start to see then the outside matching what is going on with inside as well too. So when we start by these kind of little micro habits, I do think that starting small, for me anyway, from my perspective, is kind of good in a way that you don't know that, like, you know that you're making the change, but it becomes so kind of natural to you over the time and over the days and over the weeks that it is not a struggle for you to actually start to see yourself in this new way, or to create or manifest whatever it is that you are creating. You actually start to become one with what it is that you are doing. So you start off with these kind of little habits on your day, and whether that's just even having a different thought, having an affirmation, just one affirmation that you look at in the morning and you continue to carry with you or think about throughout the day. So when we look at it from this perspective and we talk about maybe a desire that we have, we do want to be engaged with that desire as well too. So for instance, if you pray for something, you're praying because you have this desire to have it. And if you have that kind of burning desire to be praying or doing affirmations, it's allowing you to connect with it, and it's allowing you to understand the emotions that you have around it. So for instance, if a desire is kind of making you feel anxious or stressful or things like that, well, then you kind of just have to come back into yourself and reevaluate it, and reevaluate what you actually think about it in the moment. Maybe I need to think about it in a smaller way at the moment in order to build my brain up to connect to the belief and the possibility of it actually just manifested in front of me. And it's okay to do that. It doesn't take any more time. In fact, sometimes it can be quicker, because you're allowing yourself, you're giving yourself this kind of permission to see yourself, to not be so kind of grasping at something in a way that you are not looking at yourself and not looking after yourself, or you're not looking at your thoughts or your anxiousness, or you're just brushing them aside because you think that is the best way to deal with them. It's always best to be still and to come back into yourself and to know that everything is always unfolding for you. So when we look at it in this way and we start to think of, the world of duality, and we start to think of negative and positive, we know that everything exists simultaneously. So if everything exists simultaneously, well, then I don't have to resist it. I don't have to be anxious and stressful about it not coming. I don't have to resist it, because it will come as I let go, as I actually come into myself, know it into being in a way that I am showing up for myself, showing up for my health. I'm showing up for who I am and what I come to offer everyone and everything as well. And I come back into myself. I come back into my center more and more as I do this, because I know that everything has its way of unfolding for me. And that's kind of the attitude that we show within ourselves. Now, I know that this is not always going to be the case, because obviously we're human. We can have intrusive thoughts. We can have days where we are just in a bad mood, and it's only because of the energy that we are connecting to in that moment. It doesn't mean that we're permanently in those moods, or that that's what we are creating. What we are doing is recognizing that we are more than these thoughts, both positive and negative. We're more than that. We're kind of a vessel of attraction, and the energy that we put into ourselves and the thoughts and everything that we put into ourselves, in spite of negative days, in spite of positive days, is really what kind of ultimately helps us evolve into this person that is, I suppose you could say, more at one with everything, and allowing yourself to have those days where you're not more than one, and knowing that it's okay, because you're human. And yes, you do have a spirit, and you have a big spirit, and you have a big heart, and you have all these thoughts and you have all these desires, but at the end of the day, you're human as well too, and it's not to forget that either along the way. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and do a video, and I hope that everyone is doing well. And of course, you can reconnect with me at any time with my email is in the about page, and until then, I will chat to you soon.